Hello, how you doing? My name is Tap George, and today I'll be presenting my Charlotte Hornets identity crisis, which is for part of the team leadership and conflict management project that we have, team project that we have today. Um, I will be talking about what I just said, the Charlotte Hornets, as I'll be helping you guys understand what they're going through, the rebuilding structures that they're going on, and what they would need in order to help them out with their culture, better leadership from their players and staff, and the players, and also whatever they could do to help better them in the future, so that they could be not only a contending team, not only a team that could compete in the future, but also a team that could contend and win championships down the line. So the Charlotte Hornets are a young and talented NBA franchise, of course, as of right now. If you are up to date and if you do watch NBA basketball, they're a pretty young and fun team they're a pretty young and fun team. They just drafted their franchise point guard not too long ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, in LaMelo Ball, and since them being there, it's they have been lacking in a lot of things, whether it's roster changes, whether it's coaching turnovers, or just inconsistent leadership. And the organization has faced an identity crisis that undermines its efforts to grow into a competitive team, honestly. So this report that I'm helping you guys presenting to, which I'm doing here, hopefully will give you a better recommendation of or understand like the root causes and what's going on, like deep inside the system, deep inside what's inside their club, and hopefully the recommendations that I could provide could hopefully for you guys, the viewer, could give you understanding with moving forward. So building a strong team identity is crucial for success, honestly. And in order for you to have that, you gotta have strong leadership. You gotta have emotional intelligence. You gotta have good role clarity. So you gotta have people understand that people who are there gotta understand what their role is and how they can benefit for themselves and for others too. And basically, it's gotta sacrifice. And if you take those little steps, that could really guarantee you and grant you a bigger success down the long run. And like Wagstaff says, to add that to the organizational climate heavily influences athletic behavior, which is what I basically just said. And teams thrive when leadership is steady, communication is clear, and a positive culture is intentionally built. In contrast, a reactive, unstable environment leads to reduced moral and poor performance. And I feel like for these past couple 5 years, that's what's been going on for the Charlotte Hornets, as their culture hasn't really been established enough for some of these players. So due to what's been going on, why they've been losing games and they have been performing the way they're performing, I feel like a big reason to that is because of just their unstable environment where they're at, probably how the leadership is held, probably how their players are holding each other accountable, as well as the staff holding each other accountable to help their players out and help themselves out as well. And that leads to a lot of poor performances. Reason why is they don't perform the way they should perform in the NBA, and why they're always low key in the bottom of standards in the NBA, which isn't good, honestly, if you want to be a good team. Going down into it, going to my data summary now. But between the 2020 season, which is the year that LaMelo Ball got drafted into their franchise, which was going to hopefully give them hope to make them be a better team than they are now, which they're low key not. But from 2020 to 2025, which has been 5 years, the Hornets cycled through approximately 37 players, which are either traded, waived, or signed on short contracts. So basically, what that means is throughout the whole entire time of the 2020-2025 series, the Charlotte Hornets only had 2 players that was with them the whole entire time: LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges. And Miles Bridges was unfortunately not on the team for a little bit because he had some legal issues outside of basketball. But once he got those legal issues fixed out, he went back on the team. So technically, only had 2 players the whole entire time. And throughout that 5-year tenure, throughout those two players, 37 players have been on that roster, and has either been traded, waived, or on short contracts. So either that they've been traded to another team, they've been kicked off the team, or the contract they had wasn't that long. So after that 1-year contract or 2-year contract, the team didn't want to extend them more because they didn't believe that they were good enough to help them in the future, which is kind of crazy. And since that was going on, not only were they losing players, they're also losing coaches too. As throughout that 5-year tenure, LaMelo Ball, who was supposed to be the not only the franchise but the leader of that team and helped them build up who they're supposed to build up, had to go through 4 coaching staffs, had to go through 4 different head coaches, and throughout that 4 different head coaches, only one coach stayed for longer, and that was Steve Clifford, who stayed for 2 years. But after that, he wasn't coaching for them after his second year there, and ever since then, they have been having a new coach every single year, coming up. And despite those challenges and despite all that going on, I feel like the Hornets have been doing better, been taking more steps forward with it. As LaMelo Ball has made himself a better leader in that, and also as the Hornets now have been drafting or have been picking up better veteran pieces for themselves to help them grow. I feel like veteran leadership is a big piece for them, so because it will help them not only not only give the young talent on the team the right mindset to attack games and attack themselves and attack the professional game of basketball, but also them on the court and them playing, they could give them a better sense of how the game should be played, how to compete at the highest level, how to compete really hard. So players like Taj Gibson, players like, he's 39 years old, he's old, but he's a good veteran for them. Players like Seth Curry, players like Yusuf Nurkic, who's an experienced journeyman, who's been on plentiful teams, winning and losing. He understands what it takes and how to play the right way and how to get your team to at least competing at a high level every single game. And bringing in also a player called Grant Williams, who not too long ago was on the championship team with the Boston Celtics, and since then he's been going to different teams too. But he started at a culture where they know how to play the highest level. They know how to play really well. They know how to play good with the good chemistry together and make everybody feel better and feel good about themselves and come with the right energy every single time. So the Hornets have been trying, and through it all, they're really more optimistic about it. LaMelo Ball is more optimistic about it as he tries each and every day to come harder with it and seeing what that could really benefit for himself, of course. And looking down into it, I go down to my recommendations, what I feel like could help them or benefit them in the long run. I feel like one of the first things they should do is prioritize and build a stable roster core. So like I said, in the past 5-year tenure, they only had only two main players stayed, being LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges, and 37 players have left or have been traded, waived, or whatever. So by that, it's going to be really hard to have a team that's going to be good chemistry-wise and build from that, because you always have new players, new teams. There's new guys you have to meet every single year. New guys you have to build chemistry on, understand how they play, understand how you play, and it's going to be very hard to win games when you have a new person on your team every other day. It's going to be dang near impossible. So the first thing I feel like they should do is prioritize building a stable roster, retaining a constant nucleus of players, and try to reduce as much mid-season trades unless the trade could help them. If it doesn't help them, I feel like just that to keep who they have should not only benefit them because it will help the teammates grow to each other, but it will also bring a culture fit in, because now those players know what it takes and they have the culture set up, so they know how to play now with what you want to play like in order to be a winning team and all like that. But some of those players could have leadership traits, have good character, and just have good things that you would need for a team to progress. Another thing that I would like to do is clarifying is the organization vision and the player roles must also be a priority. So now that you have your team made, or you have a stable roster core, now you being the organization, you being the head coach, you being the coaches, the GM, all that, you're able to now establish players and what they need to do in order to be the best that you need to be. So that's giving them these roles, understanding what you see in them, giving them good light on that. Be confident in their abilities, of course, too, with other things they could do. But if they really maximizing these specific roles and specific skills that they have and make them the best that they could be, if everybody does their own skill, do their own role, and everybody works as a working engine together, it'll only make you better. So that's another one that I was, going on to. And then one thing I feel like, another one I said was promoting differential leadership across all levels is crucial. So coaches in the front office should lead calmly through crises, maintain clear decision making without being retentive to fan pressure or short-term results. So like I said, the last 5 years, a lot of stuff has been going well. So in order for that to help them, they should just take it slow. Like, understand that this is a process. Things are gonna happen. Things are gonna go well. Things are not gonna go well. But we can't let the things that go well and just destroy it all. We have to at least trust our teammates, have a good trust in them, have a good ability in them, and see what they could do. And also by you being positive about it, coming with the right mindset, and also work with your players too, not just let them do whatever they want, but giving them the right mindset as the coaches in the front office, it will build your players up and give them the trust that you need them to have in the long run. But to put it all in, that's really about what I did. That was our group project. We worked on Charlotte Hornets, and from that point, I feel like that will really help and boost what needs to be boosted. And I hope that gave you a better understanding of what our team project was about and what it could do for us. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.